Students from a Michigan high school where a deadly mass shooting took place last month are now suing the school district, saying it failed to keep them safe. 4 students were killed last November when a gunman, a 15-year-old sophomore, opened fire. Prosecutors say there were red flags before this shooting, including a drawing depicting violence spotted on the alleged shooter's desk at school that included a bullet with the words "blood everywhere" on it. Now, that did prompt a meeting with the student and his parents, the school counselor, and other school officials. But afterward, school administrators let him return to class. And just a short time later, he allegedly opened fire with a gun that had been in his backpack. Survivors of the school shooting at Oxford High School are now suing, and they allege that school officials acted with deliberate indifference. Their lawsuit says, in part, although plaintiffs survived the shooting, they have suffered irreparable harm. Every day since the tragedy that took place on November 30th, 2021, students at Oxford High School, including plaintiffs, have entered through the school doors assuming they will have to defend themselves should another violent attack ensue. And they're asking for a transparent third-party investigation into what they say was a lack of action regarding the events and warning signs leading up to the shooting. And they want policy changes before the new school year begins. With us now is Griff Jones. He's a student at Oxford High School and part of this lawsuit. His mother, Andrea Jones, is with us as well. Thank you both for being here. First, I should note you're not asking for any money in this lawsuit. Griffin, explain why you feel a lawsuit is necessary.
Because we've asked like so many times just for an investigation. We've asked just to feel safe, and they aren't helping the students at all, and it's not about money at all. It's just about what's right. Like, it's just, we shouldn't have to feel how we do every day at that school. We just shouldn't have to. We shouldn't even have to have a lawsuit.
So what kind of response have you received when you've talked to school officials about your concerns?
They just tell us that they're working on something and that there's a 3-year plan, but they don't tell us what. And that's if they respond. I've sent a bunch of emails. I tried to get meetings, and I don't really ever get a response. The most I get is, "We'll get in touch with you," and then they never do.
So in the lawsuit, it says students continue to, quote, suffer irreparable harm. Griffin, what does that mean? What does that look like for you?
I mean, it's kind of different for everyone, but for myself, it's like some days I can try to just like get through the day and act like nothing happened to make myself feel better. But like some days it's like I don't even why would I want to go to school when I just like feel like if something happens again, I could be like, it could be me, it could be my friends, it could be anyone. Like if something was to happen again, like people would get hurt. They haven't put in really anything to keep us safe.
What's it like to hear that, Mom?
It's really difficult, and like you said, everybody's in a different spot. We have kids that have been back since our return date, some that haven't made it back, and some that are trying to be back but have a hard time making it through the day or the week. We have a lot of students that get picked up, particularly around 5th hour daily. We're in the same hallway where the crime occurred, and that's a huge trigger for these kids. Yes, we do have new carpet and new paint, and we've closed the restroom off, but ultimately they're at the scene of the crime every day, and that's very difficult for them. It's particularly difficult when we have a situation where there's a new threat to the school, or there's a medical issue that involves police or ambulance to come to the school. It's very triggering for the kids.
Andrea, what specific changes to school policy do you want to see as a parent?
First and foremost, the thing we need most is transparency and accountability, and that starts with the third-party investigation, an unbiased third-party investigation. Our Attorney General for the state of Michigan has offered 3 separate times to complete an investigation, in which our school board declined that offer 3 separate times. She has also offered a gun detection dog to us for a year free with the handler, and the school did decline that offer as well. We need policy changes in how the counselors and the admin are dealing with students with mental health issues, as well as proper training on when it's okay to search a backpack and when to include the resource officer. Because in our situation, our resource officer was never notified, even though there were 2 prior meetings with our shooter, with our counseling office.
Griffin, what would make you feel safe to go back to school?
The gun detection dog would really help, metal detectors, more security guards. Like they have security guards right now, but it's some just old people. Like it doesn't help us feel safe. It's just, to me, I feel like it's just another person in the hallway that just looks us up and down. It's not really anything. It doesn't, I don't feel safe with that. We need more.
Well, I'm sorry you're in that position to fear going to school. I'm a mom too, and I can't imagine being in your shoes, Andrea, and just wanting to, protect your children, your child here. Griffin Jones and Andrea Jones, thank you both so much for joining us. And CNN has also reached out to school officials for comment, and we have not received a response. New details on 2 Americans